Hi guys, welcome back to another Daily Tarot card. These are your Daily Tarot cards for Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. Today we're pulling from the Wild Unknown Tarot cards. So I feel like we've changed our perspective. Our universe is calling us to change her perspective with the situation with the Death card. Change and transformation. We are cutting a person, place, or thing out of our life. You may have gone through an actual passing, like myself, a bereavement. It was out of the blue. It was sudden. It was traumatic. But it's just like, for us, it's 6 years, and it's just like, yeah, I get angry and it still affects me, but it's just like some years affects me more than others. Like, I don't even remember last year, like, because there's so many things going on at once. So it's just like, sometimes when it's quieter, unfortunately, those kind of emotions come up, but it's just like realizing that the pain, the suffering, the sorrow, the bereavement, the anxiety, your nerves being shot is all gone. And it's just like, yeah, it's traumatic, it's sad, but you know what? It's just like, be thankful for the time that we had and keep moving forward. That's all we can do. We have the sun, and I feel like this is what they were talking about. The end of February, moving into March with the forecast and projections, they were telling us that we were moving into a positive change. The sun card has been very potent for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's like we're moving towards it, and it's like, go with it. Don't fight it. Go with the flow. Go with the light. You know what I mean? It's like this energy doesn't serve us anymore. If you've gone through a breakup, it's like, yeah, it's sad as F, but you know what? Be grateful that the time that you guys did have with each other and the happy memories. And it's like, you know what? This negative energy isn't serving me. Unfortunately, we have the experience with this before. That's why the magician is showing up. It's like, we have the combination of elements to make it through this. I love the fact with the cheetah around his head is this like kind of portal energy, but it also looks like the sun. And it's just like cascading this light. And it's just like, that's what I feel like. It's like we were talking about that. The most beautiful things can grow in the dark, can grow in the murk. You know what I mean? Think about seedlings. You sit there, you take this seedling full of hope and prosperity, and you sit there and you put it in the dirt and you nurture it and you allow it to be in the sun, and it grows into this beautiful plant. A lot of us are planting our seedlings, getting ready for, spring, getting ready for summer, so it's just like in that way. And it's like, you got to see yourself as when we go through these journeys, sometimes we get plucked in the dirt, but the universe nurtures us, and we definitely get that with the strength card. And that was a key ingredient for our year, is to embrace our fire side: bravery, courage, strength, resilience, perseverance. As we have the infinity symbol here a couple times, as certain things leave our life, beautiful things come in. And I feel like that's where this rose comes in. It's like the universe has your back. They love you. Yahweh, Yeshua, universe, Gaia, Mother Earth, divine, whomever you believe in, yourself. This is changing your perspective. It's just like, let's quit wasting our energy on things that no longer serve us. Let's move towards the positive. With the Death card, closure and transformation. No one loves the sight of the Death card in a reading. We spend most of our lives denying death altogether. How often do we talk about death with our little ones? Not often, unless, unfortunately, they lost a pet or a grandparent, or, you know what I mean? In that way, but we don't talk about it. So when this card appears, it's easy to get frightened or think it's bad. Don't let the drama distract you from the message. And they were talking about this message coming in. They were saying there's a false person around and that we're going to receive a lot of messages. Something in your life needs to end. It needs closure. This will happen voluntarily or involuntary. Either way, you will feel a positive transformation begin after the initial forms of suffering have passed. And that's what I mean. It's just like, in my situation, that suffering has passed. You know what I mean? It's like, there's certain, like, I know why certain messages don't come to me, or the whole story of what happened and all that, because when they share little details, it really messes me up. Like, it upsets me, it makes me sad and angry. You know what I mean? But it's just like, at the same time, it's just like they say, like, be grateful for the time we had. He could be anywhere in this world. You know what I mean? And he comes and sees us. So, I'm just grateful for that. So, vitality and enlightenment we get with the sun. Imagine for the moment that you're soaking in the warm rays of the sun. It feels nurturing and healing. All of your aches and pains just fade away. The Sun card brings this amazing energy into your life. Vitality and health abound. While you feel assurance and clarity in all you do, spend some extra time outside today. Be grateful for the radiance of the sun and the life force it gives all creatures. Like definitely today going with my mom, and it's just like, seeing the sunrise. It's beautiful to see, My shifts have been all over the place. So I've been seeing the sunrises, but it's just like, and the way that my window faces in the bathroom, it's like you're able to see like the sunrise, So very grateful for that. But it's just like, it's just like grateful for that force. Be grateful for the fact that we're alive. Be grateful that we're still with our loved ones. You know what I mean? That we could physically like hold hands with and hug, and it's like don't miss those opportunities. You know what I mean? Like I know my kids are getting older. My youngest, which was a preemie, was just so tiny. Now is a freaking towering giant. You know what I mean? But I know it bugs them to hug me, but I always make them hug me. I'm like, give me a hug. You know what I mean? It's just like they're going to only be this age for so long. So with the Magician, self-empowerment, action. And this is what they're talking about. Like, look at yesterday's cards where we had the Chariot. They said we will be triumphant because the Six of Wands was there. But like we've been getting a lot of Six of Wands and Chariot energy together. And it's like move forward. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe we feel insecure. It's like, will Shane be upset if I move forward in life? And it's just like, we've been moving forward in life the whole time. You know what I mean? The fact that I chose not to be on medication, be zonked, to be a zombie, and just, clunk out in front of the TV and just like not even care what was going on around me. I chose to feel everything I did. Yeah, it freaking was, the suffering was horrible, but it's just like, I don't have to live in that no more. You know what I mean? I felt everything that I needed to feel, So it's like with that, it's like moving forward. I feel like it also taught me that empathy. Yeah, I've had people pass before, but it's like, as being a healer, you absorb that energy, but it's like, you know what it feels like. You can empathize. Sometimes the best experience is actually going through it. The Magician card is about boundless expansive energy, whereas most of the major arcana deals with stillness and aspects of the mind. This card is all about action, action, action. It's time to see yourself as the wildcat. Embrace your speed, grace, and abilities. Don't be afraid to begin. You have the power of all four elements within your reach. Now is the time to use them. And it's like, how do we ground ourselves in that meditation? Clearing our energies, you know what I mean? Like, doing what's best for us, eating properly, getting in the sunlight, getting in the fresh air, doing the things that our body needs, that nurtures us. Things that make us happy. So we have strength, mastery of emotions. So we've been talking about that, especially with temperance. It's like, going with the flow, but also mastering our emotions. We had the Star card, and it's like mastering your emotions, grounding yourself in your Pisces water energy. It's like, yeah, like some of us are deeply sensitive. Wow, that number keeps showing up. I'm gonna write that down. But it's just like, feel what you're feeling, but know that it's a temporary situation. You know what I mean? And you're in control. It's common to think of this card as a roaring, devouring lion outside of the lion, but look again. The strength this card suggests is a more deeper force that's found within. The lion represents our most patient, composed self. He is a master of force, compassion, and self-control. When this card comes up, you're in need of harnessing this power for yourself. All the courage you need can be found in the muscle known as the heart. And I feel like with me, it's just like letting my heart feel what it needed to. You know what I mean? Like my brain logically knew what happened. You know what I mean? Like, but my heart was like took over that whole situation. You know what I mean? That was my heart that was in shock. That was my heart. Well, I feel like my whole body was, but it's just like my nerves were shot. I was shaking all the time. It's just, I couldn't think clearly. It was just, you know what I mean? It kind of feels like you're hung over, but or like if you ever, had a bad reaction to like recreational stuff. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like you just want to be able to think clearly. Or when you're overly tired or under the weather and you can't think clearly, it's like you have that fog. It's just, You know what I mean? Like, you want it to go away, but it's just like there's no time of when that goes away. Like, that was the biggest thing for a lot of us when we joined the grief group. We're like, how long does this anxiety, like someone's like an elephant sitting on your chest, last? And everyone's like, we don't know. It's different for everybody. At least they were honest about it, right? And we're like, okay. And then we're just like, what about like this fog? And they're like, everybody's different, you know? So it's like, that's just like every relationship. Every relationship, like someone passes and you may have this big, extreme reaction, and some people just don't have a reaction at all because it's just, they didn't have that relationship where they don't feel those things. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, I feel like it's like either you can live in that and marinate it and marinate in those feelings and wallow in it, or you could sit there and say, like, you know what, there's still a whole lot of life worth living. Like, I feel like I was robbed for the past like 5 years. I wouldn't say 6. Last year was really good, even though I had a lot of freaking inconvenient freaking construction projects. It was just like, at the same time, it's just like, like they say in, any spiritual book, like, everything you lost and has been taken away from you will be replaced 10 times fold. And Sunny was a huge part of that, like to sit there and like, roll over in bed at night, and he's like sitting there and he looks like I call him my little egg roll. He's a Shih Tzu Yorkie. So Shih Tzus are Japanese dogs, and it's just like I call him my little egg roll. I know egg rolls are Chinese, but you know what I mean? I just, I think he's just the cutest, He looks like a baby all the time. Oh my gosh. Woo woo woo. Like, how can you not? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I loved Odin, but I don't know, man. Suddenly he's just spunky. Odin was spunky too, but I don't know. Odin's Sunny's spicy too. He has just the most amazing qualities about him, Yes, he does things that annoy me. Like, I was just literally filming for TikTok, and he got spooked by my neighbor slamming their door and, like, took the cord out and everything. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this dog. But it's just like, those little things in life, those little blessings in your life to be thankful for. And I feel like that's the thing. It's changing your perspective. When those feelings of shock and acceptance and grief leave you, it's just like, how do you move forward? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, of course you love this person, even if it's not even a bereavement, a separation, a divorce. It's just like, it's an ending. And I feel like when your heart sits there and accepts what has gone on, and that is the hardest thing, is for your heart to accept it, it's like you're on the right path. You know what I mean? It's just like, either I could sit there and continue to live like this, or I could sit there and start to make that journey. And it's not easy. When you make that change, when you sit there and make that decision to be like, you know what? I'm moving in a positive way. I'm moving towards the sun, the light. I'm leaving the murk behind. It's, you know what I mean? It's not a magical spell or pill that we take that changes everything. It takes time. I still had to sit there sometimes when I made that decision. I refused to live in this energy anymore. I refused to be bawling my eyes out all the time. You know what I mean? It's just like, even sometimes I start getting caught up and I'm like, nope. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. You can't do nothing to change it. Sometimes you're going to feel a certain way, and then it's just like, yeah, you're going to cry. You're going to still feel sad, but it's just like, you know what I mean? Again, be grateful for the time that you had. So sacrifice and letting go, Many people talk about the art of letting go, but what does it really mean? How do we achieve it? The hangman has all the answers. He's the master of non-attachment. This card implies there's a sacrifice or a difficult or painful situation coming up in your life. Though you naturally want to resist the struggle and struggle through it, be more like the hangman. Find stillness, open your eyes, and use this new perspective to learn something. You're stuck here either way. I pray that this is already passed. I don't want anyone ever going through this kind of energy. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I feel like it's master of our emotions. You know what I mean? It's like when people sit there and put their insecurities on us, once you master that, and it's like, I'm not going to allow you to manipulate my emotions because you feel insecure. It's just like, you take their power away because now they can no longer manipulate you. Emotionally manipulate you is what they're trying to do. I feel like trash, so I'm going to make you feel the same way I do. They don't give a crap how you feel. How they treat you is what they feel about you. If they're sitting there manipulating you to make you feel something because they, that's how they feel. You know what I mean? Like, how disgusting. I feel like me, it's like, I don't wish this shit on nobody. You know what I mean? But these people, it's just like, well, if I'm miserable, everybody else should be miserable. It's like, what kind of logical thinking is that? That's why it's just like, that's why the death card, person, place, or thing. We're working on major change and transformation. You know, it's like what no longer serves us. It's time to move forward. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Move towards the light. Move towards the things that bring you light and laughter and happiness into your life. It may not look what everybody else thinks like it should look like. That's their problem. You know what I mean? Nobody's life looks like the way that they imagined it. It's what you make of it. And try to make it look as the way that you want as much as possible. We can't all be millionaires and billionaires, but at least you make the most out of the time that you have here. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, March 1st, 2023. May the universe bless you good. Don't forget to do your salt and cinnamon ceremonies. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.